So, I don't know if we're reviewing this at the best possible time or the worst possible time.
Best of times and the worst of times.
No, it's 2020. It's only one of those.
Mm-hmm.
I say that because we were talking about Mulan, the Disney live-action remake of their classic animated film, because people keep paying to see those.
We had to pay for this.
I'm a critic. I have an excuse. Yeah, it's weird that these things make a ton of cash, but I have never met someone who liked them more than the originals. I've met people who were like, yeah, they're fine. I've met people who thought they were okay. But, like, I've never met anybody who was like, I can't wait for the next one.
It's like, they're so much better, like...
Yeah, I never run into that. But, so, I bring up that I don't know if this is the best time to talk about this or the worst time, because here's the thing. We were watching this film, and I thought it was kind of boring. So, I'll admit, I took my phone out at one point, and I checked around on Twitter. And as we were watching this film, a news story came out that apparently, I'm probably going to get demonetized just for talking about this, because YouTube does not like you talking about current political events, but there's currently something of a genocide going on over in China. They have a lot of concentration camps set up right now for Muslim citizens, and not a lot of people are talking about. And apparently, one of the companies that Disney worked with on this film is one of the propaganda companies that handles all the stuff relating to these camps. Yeah, I saw that story as this movie was playing. I went, oh, if it weren't for the fact that I just spent $30 on this thing, I would shut this shit off right now.
As if, like, the actress who plays Mulan supporting the Hong Kong thing doesn't, like...
Yeah, she supports the Hong Kong police. I was like, oh, this already had a strike against it.
It's all bad.
It's already had a strike against it. And I woke up this morning. Actually, that's a lie. I haven't slept in 24 hours. That's not a joke, by the way.
No, it's not.
So I'm a little bit loopy right now. But this morning, the story continued, and it turns out Disney even filmed in one of the areas where these camps are held. I was like, oh my fucking God.
Disney, I know you want to get that money from China, but holy fuck.
Oh my God. So, yeah, you know what? This is not the worst time to review this, because the worst time would have been if we had watched this when we actually tried to watch it the first time, only to discover that the PlayStation Disney Plus app does not let you buy Mulan through that. You have to go on your computer and buy it. So we were going to watch it one night and then review it the next day, and the review would have been going up yesterday. But because it was like, oh, I can't purchase this, I gotta purchase it on my computer. Screw that, it's too much stuff. We'll watch Lovecraft Country tonight. By the way, if you have the choice between watching Mulan or Lovecraft Country, watch Lovecraft Country. I don't care if your kids want to watch Mulan. They'll enjoy Lovecraft Country more.
Give them the cartoon. Like
Lovecraft Country will teach them about racism in the South and Shoggoth. So, I mean, both valuable lessons to know if you're growing up in America. So yeah, that story came out. I mean, I already had the thing about the actors supporting the Hong Kong police, like, in my head as I was watching this.
Yeah, but
like, I read this as we were watching this. I was like, oh fuck. So, I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm going to try my hardest. I've been a critic for a long time now. I've gotten pretty good at separating issues around the film from the film itself. This one challenged that, but I've gotten pretty good at doing that. So, I'm going to try my hardest to judge just the film itself, and I can say just the film itself, it's really bland.
Yeah, I mean, when you make a live-action remake of the animated movie, it's easy to, like, want to compare the two, but, like, I'm trying my best.
I have not seen the anime one.
But I have.
Yes, so we are coming from different points of view on this one. So I can honestly say, I'm not comparing it just as its own thing. This is boring.
Yeah.
This is dull.
It's like, here's the thing. It's like, they did a lot of things differently in this one. So it's like, comparing it to the animated one would be kind of pointless. So it's like, okay, I'm just going to judge it on its own, as its own, like, take on the Mulan legend.
That's one thing you got to give this film. It is so different from the source material. I mean, actually, the source material is an actual legend, but it is so different from the animated film that they were clearly basing this on. That's like, well, you made your own thing, man.
Yeah.
Like, you did not in any way. It's not like with The Lion King, where that entire time you're like, just watch the fucking animated movie. This is terrible. This is so poorly done. Oh my goodness, just watch the animated one. Well, this one is like, this is indeed its own thing.
Yeah, it's not a great thing, but it's its own thing, so I guess I can give it credit for that.
It was not until the end that, oh god, what is the actress's name who played Mulan in the animated film? I cannot remember.
Yeah, but like, she made a cameo.
She makes a cameo, and man, that actress, she is known for many things, but one thing she's known for is that she has not aged in 30 years. And like, you could still be Mulan right now. I could watch that. I mean, like, a slightly older Mulan, because Mulan is supposed to be like a teenager. I mean, you weren't even a teenager when you recorded that. It was like, you want to do like Mulan like 10 years later? Yeah, absolutely. You could do the live action sequel of that. I'd be totally fine with that. It wasn't until that moment that I went, oh yeah, right, the animated film, got it.
That's a thing.
Okay. Then there was a like brief moment towards the end of this in which Mulan is in a fight do you remember the bad guy's name?
Well, his name is different from the one in the anime.
Really?
Yes.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Wow, so this is totally different.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's a moment when she is fighting him, and she kind of strikes a similar pose with the sword. I was like, oh, all right, but I mean, like, that is really it.
Well, in the background, they play, like, the instrumentals.
The music. Every now and again, the music does come on. It's like, remember the movie this was based on. Like, there was a moment in which they were about to start their training thing, and he goes, I'll make men out of you. And I just jokingly went, oh, here it comes. They're gonna sing the song, Michelle. They're gonna sing that really great song that everyone loves. It's about to he said the thing. They have to sing it now. It's gonna, no, wait, here it comes. Remember movie, here come movie. Movie happened now. Movie, no, it's not. Movie is not here now. This is different movie. Yeah, that's what it's like every single time that the music just starts to come in for like, it's only like 3 notes too.
Yeah.
It's only that, it's the, again, I didn't see it, but it's the one that,
Well, actually, like, a few of the instrumentals from the songs from the original,
okay.
like,
I only picked up on one then.
Yeah, like, Reflection.
I think that's the one, yeah.
Yeah, they also do the Bring Honor to Us All when she's going to, like, the matchmaker and shit, but...
Okay, I don't remember that one at all.
But those are, like, the 2 only songs that they do.
Oh, can we talk about how stupid the matchmaker scene is? She goes as matchmaker to try and, like, get hooked up with a rich, successful husband, and she sees a spider crawling around, and she's being perfectly, like, she's doing everything that her parents told her to do. She's not doing anything against their will at all. And she sees a spider crawling around. She just carefully picks up the teapot, puts it on top of the spider, and then the matchmaker freaks out and says, you gotta pick up the teapot. And why wouldn't you just explain there's a spider underneath there? Why would you not just explain that? Instead, she's like, I think the teapot should remain where it is. Just say why you did that.
But here's the thing, it's like, Mulan has a younger sister in this one. A younger sister who was afraid of spiders, and she was, like, with there during the matchmaking thing. Yep. So that's why she put the teapot on there. So literally, the whole reason why Mulan fucked everything up is because of her little sister. Little sister who has absolutely no purpose in this movie at all whatsoever.
I didn't know she wasn't in the original, so now that you tell me that they just added her for this one, it's like, she's gone after the first 10 minutes, and then doesn't appear until the very end with no line. when the father comes in and says that line, it's like, I'm
proud of my daughter.
No, it's
just the one daughter. Just
isn't it more than that? It's something like
I don't know.
It's something like my greatest treasure is my daughter, or something like that.
Like just the one daughter.
Just like really, because if he had just said I'm proud of my daughter, then it's like yeah, because he's talking to her. No, it is like the best thing in the universe is my one daughter. It's like wow, fuck off, Dad. Wow. But yeah, she like picks up this teapot and the spider's there, and then the sister freaks out, and then Mulan like does her best to like catch all the stuff that gets knocked into the air, but fails because it's like an impossible thing to grab it all at once. And then
even
the matchmaker comes.
She wasn't able to do that.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that. And then the matchmaker comes out and goes, Mulan is hopeless and she's a total failure and she's the worst ever. I was like, she didn't do a goddamn thing wrong in that. What the fuck? This was awful. This was an awful setup. Jesus. All right, sorry. But yeah, let's get into that because, again, I didn't see the anime one, but I knew this didn't exist in the anime one. Yeah, apparently Mulan has superpowers in this one. And I don't mean she does impressive, like, jumps and flips and kicks and stuff. No, I mean they flat out say, you have chi. And you must hide your chi. You must hide it. Because you're a mutant and the world will hate and fear you.
No, it's because she's a woman.
Yeah, because if you have chi in your man, you become the emperor.
Yeah.
But that, man, again, I didn't even see the animated one. And I knew this was disrespectful to the animated one. Because all I could think was, the message of the animated one was, hey, everyone says you can't compete with the men because you're a woman. You're not as good as the men because you're a woman. And then she proves, no, I am as good as you. Here she goes, it's basically the same thing. It's, no, you're not as good as the men. You can't compete with the men. Well, I can compete with the men because I was born with special superpowers. Like, really? Not because, like, men and women are equal and, like, anything they can do, you can also do, and like you're trying to like prove a point about it. It's like, no, superpowers, huh? Okay.
Yeah, but it's like in like the animated one, like she uses like her smarts, her intelligence to like outwit the Huns and everything. So it's like, oh, you don't need to be violent to fight or anything like that. There's other ways to like solve your problems and everything. But with this one, it's like, nope, superpowers. No, like,
no, I can be more violent than the rest of you because I was born special for violence. What the fuck, man? Wow. And this film, it's got kind of... It kept feeling like it had odd pacing, but then I would stop and think to myself, why do I feel like the pacing is odd? And then I go, no, that scene was there for a reason. That scene was there for a reason. That got established. That got set up. Okay, well, that's all there. And, like, I mean, it gets to that moment in which she has to make the big decision and go in there and reveal that she's a woman. I was like, did she really go on, like, a big journey in this thing? And then you're like, no, she did. And I was like, I guess all the scenes were there.
It's like...
But, man, I'm spitting everywhere. I get that way when I get mad. Sorry.
There's no build-up.
Yeah, it didn't feel like there was build-up.
No,
right?
it just like, it felt like, oh, okay, so this is what happened in the animated one, so like we'll just go through this one in the live action
one. Yeah, it really felt like there was no build-up, and it wasn't until like way later in the film that finally it hit me. Like, it wasn't until like almost the ending when that phoenix comes rising up behind her, which they couldn't use the dragon, but they could use the phoenix. I don't understand that.
Like, apparently, like, the phoenix symbolizes like femininity, while dragons represent masculinity or something like that. So.
Oh, then maybe they should have had her not just have superpowers to solve her problems then. Sorry, I'm just piecing it all together in my head. So, it was towards that scene that all of a sudden it hit me. The reason why this doesn't have build-up, and the reason why I can't get an emotional connection to Mulan, the reason why it feels like there's weird pacing problems and all this, is because since she didn't have the Disney sidekicks, there's no person for her to talk to. Meaning there's no person for her to, like, go through her emotional journey with. It all has to really just be conveyed through really no speech from her. Like, she has very little dialogue in here. We're talking like Henry Cavill as Superman, low amounts of dialogue for a protagonist.
Like, when I found out, like, the Phoenix was gonna be, like, replacing Musha's like, oh, the Phoenix probably won't talk to Mulan, but Mulan will at least have someone to talk to, so she can explain to the audience what her emotions are and everything. It's like, nope. The Phoenix just like pops up every now and then.
At the end of this film, you're not even sure the Phoenix was real or if it's just symbolism.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like no one ever stops to comment. It's like, hey, look at that giant bird that's been following us around. No one ever really comments on that.
Nope.
But yeah, it just kind of hit me. It's like all this really comes down to all of her character development comes down to the actress, and the actress has almost no lines. And I gotta be honest with you, the lines she does have. She has no charisma or personality, or she is just stone-faced the entire time. And again, I am not saying that because, like, she said all that stuff about the Hong Kong situation. No, man, her acting is so bland in here. It will take your mind off of all the stuff going on around this film and just go, oh, this wouldn't be good even if everything had lined up perfectly for this. Her acting is very flat. So you have flat acting with almost no dialogue.
And no supporting cast.
And that is supposed to be all we need in order to show off her big revelation, her big character arc, her growth. And it doesn't, needless to say. Really, nobody in here really has any kind of personality to them except from like two people who are very minor supporting characters in the RN. One of them is I'm the charismatic guy, and one of them is I'm the wimpy guy. Mm-hmm. And even then, they have. I'm thinking again. I haven't seen the film, but I've seen parts of the film.
The animated one.
Yeah, the animated one, and just the parts I have seen. I know more about the supporting cast in that film than I do about these characters in the film I actually watched from start to finish.
Yeah, it's like, you know, General Shang, like, everyone's upset that he isn't in the remake.
He was the hunky one.
He was the one who led the army and ended up having a crush on Mulan.
Yes.
So everyone's upset that he's not in there. But apparently there's another guy in the camp that she, like...
I know who you're talking about, and the only reason I know who you're talking about is because he was the hunkiest looking one. And I mean, that is it. That is the only way that you can look at this and go, is there supposed to be some kind of a romance thing there? Because I'm not just saying this because, like, well, there's a man and there's a woman, so clearly there has to be a romance. No, there's, like, just enough of, like, semi-flirting that feels like maybe they want that to be a plot point, but then there's, like, no, like, there's nothing else in there to make it seem like it's gonna happen. It's like, all right, like they're the ones who share that scene, like when she's bathing, and I was like, okay, so clearly I think they're trying to set a thing up here. And then there's other like brief moments, and he's the one at the end that's just like. He's the one that trusts her. He's the one who leads the whole I am Spartacus thing. So it's like, okay, so I think you're supposed to be like a thing, but it's like...
Doesn't really go anywhere. Like,
it's like everything else in this film. It's like, no, this happened in movie. Now we do it in our movie. Well, I think you need things to connect those things and development and follow through and have it like actually pay off in some ways. Like, no, these things happen in movie. We did it in movie now. That's it. Man, I'm spinning all over the place. Man, when I do not get enough sleep, I just start like slurring all my words all over the place. This is gonna be a short review. I don't really have anything else to say about this film.
Really? Not even the witch?
Oh my god! I don't know if I'm tired or I just don't care. I was watching, there was someone on Twitter who did not want to rent this, but they had kids, so they were like, fuck it, they talked me into doing it. And they said that their daughter turned to them at one point and said, why doesn't Mulan and the witch just team up to overthrow the evil general? And I'm like, yeah. That's all you can think when watching this.
Yeah, I mean, like...
Also, I ain't gonna lie, they had more romantic chemistry than Mulan and any of the other guys in there.
I actually made a joke as like, join me, and together we can fuck the patriarchy or something.
It's like, it really seemed like it's setting that shit up. I mean, I'm not like trying to read anything in here, but there is a moment in which the witch is talking to Mulan, and she makes that, like, she makes the head move, the move in motion, Like, that, like, her head comes in and, like, starts to tilt to the side, her mouth starts to open, I'm like, there's definitely something here. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, the people who made this film might not have known it, but it got put in the film. Yeah, she has no reason for working for the bad guys other than everyone turned against me. And they're gonna turn against you, Mulan. No, they won't. Guess what? They didn't. They were on her side. I mean, they turned against her for like 5 seconds. And then they were all with her.
Yeah.
And then, like, she starts leading the army in there, and then she sees that they're leading the army, and, like, shouldn't that be kind of the moment when she, like, kind of, like, turn on the bad guy and be like, okay, I guess we'll team up now, and I guess we'll work together. That'll be a thing that we'll do. And no, that doesn't happen. Instead, she just decides at the last second to become good and sacrifice herself.
Like, even though the bad guy specifically said that she was his slave, like...
Yeah. It's like, hey, don't you have all these crazy-ass powers? Why not, I don't know, use that shit against
You're
him.
a witch, not a genie, like...
You're not bound by the, like, individual living space. You're not bound by that, you do whatever you want. You should be running this place. Mm-hmm. I mean, nobody in this has any personality or anything memorable to them, but it's like, she at least had, like, a scene where she ripped a guy's heart out with her talon claws, so I mean, I'll remember that at least. She doesn't actually rip the heart out, but she, like, turns her hand into, like, a talon and then, like, stabs the guy. It's like, oh, that's kind of a nice thing. Although, oh my god, the editing. We have to talk about the editing in here. Oh, man. The editing isn't bad all the way throughout, but there are some stinker moments
like
in
when
here.
they're trying to make it suspenseful or...
They're trying to make it suspenseful, it's pretty bad, but whenever they're trying to also, like, do a special effect thing, but they're trying to clearly show that they didn't spend money on a special effect, instead they just tried to use camera angles, it's like, oh no, like, this is some Mighty Morphin Power Ranger shit. This is some, like, I flew through the air, whoa, whoa, bam, oh, I'm on the ground, pose. It's like, no, motherfucker, no, that's not how that worked.
Like, I remember, like, during some fighting scenes, like, the camera would just, like, flip on its side,
Yep.
and then flip right back up, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like...
Oh, yeah. Oh, but no, the worst one is when is when Mulan confronts the witch, and the witch then turns into a bird, and it feels like the order of shots is out of order. Like, it feels like they just, like, put shot C where shot B is supposed to be. Because, like, you see the witch move forward, then cut to Mulan leaning all the way back, then cut to the witch again leaning forward, then cut to just Bird. Bird is now past Mulan. And it's like, she leaned
I'm guessing they were...
She leaned back before she turned into a bird. What was she dodging then? It's shot. Is that
Like,
quick.
Obviously they were trying to go for, like, a shutter effect or, or something like that. No, they weren't?
It was just bad at it. They weren't trying to go for anything. They were trying to hide. We don't have the budget to have her actually turn into a bird. We have the budget for Bird, not for Lady Become Bird. We did that once, and that's all we can do. No, it was just trying to hide. They did not have the money for that shot. Which raises questions because I thought this thing had a large budget, so where'd it go?
Well, there were a lot of other effects in the movie, but I think this is like, oh, we don't have enough for this particular scene because we spent it all on that other scene.
Most of the effects are scenes, they're backgrounds. And I think a lot of these backgrounds look like shit. Like, the village looks nice, although it's clear it's like 5 houses. And then there's the shot of the Emperor on the throne. It's like, okay, that's a pretty good shot. Also, the shot of them, like, the first time the army, like, actually walks through, like, where a battle had taken place. I thought that was a pretty good shot. I thought that was actually a decent shot.
Yeah, once again, there's no suspense, though.
No, there isn't. But, like, the shot of them, like, in the mountains when they're fighting, they might as well have been in a parking lot. Like, it is just, like, a barren field. That's it. And you got, like, 5 groups of guys all standing around as bats attack them. That's it. And it's like, oh my gosh. Okay, it's, yeah. Or the final fight, I mean, that was totally green screen. Or that weird hallway that her not boyfriend asked, like, bar the door, and I'm like, this is like literally like a hallway in a parking garage.
This is like a back alley or some shit like that. Like
Batman's parents are being killed right over there. Yeah, it was some weak sets in here. But the film itself, it didn't like offend me or anything.
No. Honestly,
everything around the film did.
Yeah. So that might have soured this movie a bit.
I don't think it did, because like if it had soured it, I think I would have been mad. Mm-hmm. But instead, I was just numb.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't give a shit about any of this.
Yeah. It's very blah. Just yeah. I mean, I legitimately hated The Lion King.
Yes.
But
I think you actually, that was one of the few films in which you disliked more than I did, I think. And not like by like a point or something, like you hated that thing.
But because it was trying to be too much like the animated one. But like with this one, like I said before, they're trying to like do something different. So basing it on like its own movie and not comparing it to the other one, I thought was just okay, you know? Like
yeah, I was gonna come in here and be like, yeah, it's a 5 out of 10, like right down the middle. But the more I talk about this, the more I'm like, 5 out of 10. I can still picture that being like, yeah, you put it on the background for some background noise. I'm like, I ain't gonna tell somebody to pay $30 for background noise.
Yeah, it's like...
And I wouldn't even want this as background noise. There's better background noise. Like, I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, like, it's definitely like a slightly below average, but not like a fuck you.
It's definitely not a fuck you, no. Like, there's work in here, there's stuff, there's decent things in here. It's definitely not like a big F you. Like, again, as long as you can judge the film as its own thing.
I kind of want you to watch the animated one now, so...
Maybe, I don't know. We have no plans anymore for when movies are released. Fuck it. I had somebody ask me recently, when are you going to see New Mutants? And they said, like, if you don't want to go to theaters, just pirate it like everybody else. Like, I don't pirate shit. I'm sorry, I don't do that. Because, A, typically, if you go online, you run a huge risk of getting viruses all over the place.
Yeah.
You absolutely do. So I'm not going to risk the thing that decides my entire business so I can watch New Mutants. You do that. Or I can go to that guy in our neighborhood who sells the bootleg DVDs. And I've never bought anything from him, but I'm pretty sure it's just him in the theater with a camera. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to judge the film from that. So no, I'm not going to pirate that. So no. When it comes out on demand, like that, Tenet, all the other shit. You want me to watch it? I'll watch it when it comes out on demand. But no, fuck that. I'm not going into town right now for anything. So yeah, I got off on a rant there. I was gonna say something about streaming services right now, but no. Oh yeah, we're only really reviewing this stuff up until October. Because in October, thank God, I actually have a schedule for what to do. Because that's when Thorgy Ween returns, and that's when we get to talk about spooky stuff all month long. But yeah, up until then, and then when we get back into November, because this shit ain't gonna be gone by November. Yeah, I don't know. We'll just find stuff to review. I mean, we're reviewing the 3rd season of a Netflix show coming up tomorrow. So yeah, we're just kind of reviewing whatever right now.
Yeah.
This is the Listen, you want to talk about something that's good for background noise? This is a perfect 5 out of 10 right here, everybody. So yeah, that's it. You got anything else you want to say?
No, not really.
Yeah. So Mulan, 4 out of 10. My own show, 5 out of 10. I think I'm being very fair about that. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. So yeah, come back tomorrow. We're gonna do another review, and then maybe something will be on this weekend. I don't even know anymore. But God, there's gotta be some show or something we can review. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Come back, everybody. Bye.
Bye.